Hello and welcome to Bangladesh Today. Bangladesh and India are poised to sign a liberal visa agreement when the Indian Home Minister Sushilkumar Shinde visits Dhaka later this month. Shinde and his Bangladeshi counterpart Mohiuddin Khan Alamgir met in December last year when both sides agreed that the revised travel agreement RTA as well as the extradition treaty would be finalised and signed soon. The new visa agreement will do away with certain checks on the visits of business representatives, senior citizens above the age of 65 years and children below 12 years. Commencing a time frame for issuing non-diplomatic visas, making multiple entry visas for businessmen, visa on arrival for senior citizens and children, allowing extra entries for medical visas and issuing group visas for tourists are some of the changes in the new agreement.
I feel it's a very important and beneficial agreement between the two countries. It will benefit, both the countries will benefit. It's not only encourage tourism but trade also, especially in the northeast region of India, and many Bangladeshi would gain benefit out of this. The business community over there. In fact, they'll get more. Then second thing, the government objective is to integrate the whole Southeast Asia or Eastern countries, East Asian nations with India and other South Asian nations. So in that it will also help. We are not only wanting the visa regime but also the other facilities like land connectivity, bus route, rail connectivity, and then also we would like to use the Bangladesh sea ports, for our transit and trade, So if this connectivity achieved, then not only India and Bangladesh but also Nepal, Bhutan, Vietnam, then Thailand, at least these countries would be beneficial also, and there'll be, in the long run, there'll be economic integration. Bangladesh would be the link to connect with these countries. Connectivity through the sea, through some of the countries through land. And
you said liberalization of visa process. It is a bilateral issue. The Bangladesh visa processing for Indians is always liberalized. Any Indian citizen wishing to visit Bangladesh approach the Bangladesh mission, whether in Delhi, whether in Calcutta or anywhere, wherever there are our missions, they are getting it without hindrance. And thousands of Indians living in Dhaka or in Bangladesh for trade, for business, as a buying agent or as having so many business outlets here, not having a work permit and visiting here, staying for 1 month, 2 months, going to Calcutta or Bangkok or anywhere, coming back next week, staying another 2 months, going to Delhi or Singapore, coming back after 2 days, stay another 2 months, 3 months, because their visa doesn't restrict them to stay more than a month or so. But even if there is a restriction, they can go and come back. But in case of Bangladesh, do you find that so many Bangladeshis, business people, or having business establishment here, please understand, having business establishment in Bangladesh, they are renting houses, they are renting offices, they are having businesses of different kinds, including restaurants and so on, including shopping malls and so on. How many Bangladeshis having shops in India, having restaurants in India, how many of them are allowed to work in India with or without visas.
Both the governments have approved the draft of the visa agreement, and people in India's northeast have hailed the initiative and said that easing the visa process between India and Bangladesh was a long-standing demand and one that will influence business and tourism, especially if it can turn states like Tripura into a prime corridor for Southeast Asia.
না, ভারত বাংলাদেশের মধ্যে যে ভিসার যে সরলীকরণ, এটা আমাদের দীর্ঘদিনের কাঙ্ক্ষিত এবং আমরা এই প্রক্রিয়াকে স্বাগত জানাই। কারণ ভারত বাংলাদেশ অত্যন্ত প্রতিবেশী রাষ্ট্র, বিশেষ করে ত্রিপুরার ক্ষেত্রে, এবং সেই ক্ষেত্রে আমার মনে হয় এই রাজ্যের শুধু নয়, এই দেশের সঙ্গে বাণিজ্য, পর্যটন এবং বিশেষ করে দক্ষিণ এশিয়ার অন্যতম করিডোর হতে পারে এই রাজ্য। ভিসার সরলীকরণের ফলে আমাদের দুদেশের মধ্যে যেমন সম্পর্কের একটা ইতিবাচক প্রভাব পড়বে এবং আমরা একে অপরের আরও বেশি কাছাকাছি হতে পারবো, আর এর ফলে দুদেশের মানুষের মধ্যে একটা মৈত্রীর ঐক্য গড়ে উঠবে বলে আমি মনে করি। কারণ বিশেষ করে এই রাজ্যটি দক্ষিণ এশিয়ার করিডোর হিসাবে চিহ্নিত হতে পারে পর্যটনের দিক থেকে। কারণ এর আগেও আমরা বাংলাদেশে গেছি, দেখেছি মানুষের অনেক দিনের আকাঙ্ক্ষা হচ্ছে যে ভিসার সরলীকরণ, যাতে দুদেশের মানুষ খুব সহজেই নিজেদের মধ্যে আবেগকে এবং তাদের ভালোবাসাকে একসাথে সমঝোতা আনতে পারেন। এটা অনেক দিনের কাঙ্ক্ষিত এবং আমরা এই প্রক্রিয়াকে স্বাগত জানাই।
জনগণ উপকৃত হবে। দু দেশের যদি ভিসার যদি সরলীকরণ হয়, তাহলে আমাদের ওই পারে আত্মীয় স্বজন আছে, ওদের সঙ্গে আমরা মেলামেশাটা খুব ইজিলি করতে পারবো। কারণ আমরা তো এখন যাই, অনেক দিন আগে ভিসা করতে হয়, ভিসা করে যেতে হয়। কিন্তু এখন যদি এটা সরলীকরণ হয়ে যায়, তাহলে ওরাও আমাদের কাছে আসতে পারবে, আমরাও যেতে পারবো। তারপরে পর্যটনের ক্ষেত্রেও খুব সুবিধা হবে, কারণ পর্যটনের ওরা এখানে এসে অনেক সময় বলে যে আমরা ভিসা পাই না, তার জন্য আসতে পারি না। কিন্তু ভিসার কারণে তো আসা হয় না, তার জন্য ওরাও অসুবিধা ভোগ করে, তাহলে আমরাও খুব ভালোভাবে তাড়াতাড়ি করে যেতে পারবো।
India's ambassador to Bangladesh, Pankaj Saran, had earlier said that India decided to adopt a liberal visa regime as a step towards showing the country's commitment towards joining hands with Bangladesh and boosting its economic prosperity. India currently gives nearly 500,000 visas to Bangladeshi nationals every year, and with the new visa agreement, the figure is likely to see a significant rise. The two home ministers are also expected to sign the much-awaited extradition treaty that will help New Delhi pursue cases of criminals and terrorists living in Bangladesh. This treaty is likely to facilitate the handing over of top Ulfa leader Anup Chetia, who is presently lodged in a Bangladesh prison, to India. The United Liberation Front of Assam Ulfa militant has been languishing in a Dhaka jail after he was arrested in 1997 on charge of entering Bangladesh without required valid documents.
I think that the Home Minister level talk is very significant and very important for both the countries. You know that the insurgents of the Northeast, they are using the soil of Bangladesh. And India had long been asking Bangladesh for destroying the camps. And this time, I think the two countries will put their pen to sign an agreement on extradition treaty. If the extradition treaty is signed, then the criminals or the insurgents who are using the soil of Bangladesh and vice versa, that the criminals using the soil of India, they can be handed over to the respective authorities. So I think this is a very important treaty, and it will also reduce the crime level in both the countries. Another thing is that the visa system should be liberalized because you know that our entire northeast is a landlocked area, and it is surrounded by Bangladesh by almost all sides. On the other hand, that the Bangladesh is completely India locked. Bangladesh is completely surrounded by India, and they have a small patch of border with Burma. So Bangladeshi people are often visiting Indian states for treatment, for trade, and for many reasons, even for tourism. And the flow of Bangladeshis are very high, and they are coming more in numbers to India.
Reportedly, the extradition treaty is yet to be cleared by the Indian cabinet after a slight amendment by the Bangladeshi government. As far as Bangladesh is concerned, the extradition treaty will help it get hands on its criminals that are lodged in Indian jails. Earlier, Dhaka had said that killers of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman were hiding in India and requested New Delhi to help in their search and subsequent extradition.
For having mutual trust and confidence among the people, or between the two governments, it has to be on an equal footing. And we being in a smaller state, a smaller country, and India being our big neighbor, I think then India need to rethink and revisit the relationship between the two countries. In that case, the mistrust, distrust or misunderstanding among the people, among politicians, among government, among the people will be removed. And we can always be a friend hands in gloves. Why? Because Bangladesh, even if Bangladesh's economy is growing much more than India, even if Bangladesh is more richer than India, under any circumstances Bangladesh cannot be a threat to India at any time.
To solve any border disputes locally, India and Bangladesh are also expected to exchange strip maps of 4,156 kilometer international border. Over 10,000 pages of unscaled strip maps, which comprise drawing of essential points along the border, towns and roadside features, were organized by both the countries to sort out the differences on the boundaries. In 2011, India and Bangladesh had signed a historic and momentous pact to exchange 162 enclaves, also known as Chit Mahals, between themselves during the visit of Dr. Manmohan Singh to Bangladesh.
That is there for a long time. India has given them, in fact, 3 Bigha corridor to Bangladesh, for connectivity, Then there are other things, all these things can be sorted out, There are some enclaves, which India would like to have an exchange, and this would be the best thing, And we have number of talks on this, There's general consensus, and I think soon all these things would be sorted out, If second thing, we also very concerned about the peace and stability in Bangladesh, particularly where the militant Islamic movements are also operating. Some of them are involved in anti-India activities. The third important factor is immigration from Bangladesh. It's a matter of concern, particularly in Assam and the northeastern state, West Bengal, where a large number of these people are migrating for jobs and settling down in India. So it's another concern, would be taken up by them.
The accord on demarcation of the border and exchange of enclaves, over which the two sides had reached an agreement in 1974, covers 111 enclaves in India and 51 in Bangladesh, which are inhabited by about 51,000 people. The exchange of enclaves will need India to pass an amendment to the constitution, which reportedly the ruling coalition is willing to do. Indian enclaves inside Bangladesh are located in 4 districts: Panchgarh, Lal Monirat, Kurigram and Nilphamari, while all Bangladesh enclaves fall in India's Cooch Behar district. Some of these enclaves were created even before the British rule, way back in 1713. These recent bilateral agreements are poised to strengthen India-Bangladesh ties even further, and both neighbours are keen to make sure that the opportunity is not lost. That's all we have for you in Bangladesh Today this week. Thank you for watching.